Hi guys, welcome to my channel if you're new here. If you've been here before, then welcome back. I'm Michelle. I'm an architectural designer during the day, and in the evenings and on the weekends, I'm a hobby sewist. And lately, I've picked up a new hobby. And you might guess it based off the garment that's on the mannequin here next to me. If you didn't guess it, I have been knitting, and this is my very first finished object, and we're going to be talking all about it today. Now, just in case you wanted to know how I got into knitting, so it dates back to Joann's stores, which is now just a memory for all of us. But I kept walking past an end cap that had the most stunning variegated yarn whenever I went to pick up notions, patterns, fabric, interfacing, etc. And it was weeks and weeks of me just passing this yarn, and it was just so pretty. So there were a few different color variations, but it was this sort of variegated yarn. And eventually one day I was like, I really need to learn to do something yarn related so that I can make use of this yarn. So I guess you can say that sewing was my gateway hobby into other hobbies, because it wasn't as if I was already spent too much money on fabric and notions. Now I get to spend a little bit more money on yarn. But yeah, I found some crochet patterns, and then I kept looking and I kept looking, and I came across some knit patterns and some finished garments that I was just oohing and eyeing over, and one of them happened to be this sweater. This sweater is an MYPZ knit kit. MYPZ is a brand out of Amsterdam, and you can buy quite a few of their knit kits, or you can just get the yarn on its own. So I'm going to put the link for this knit kit down in the description of this video. And my significant other treated me with this knit kit. I got mail one day, and it came in this really pretty brown paper bag. It's like so simple, but the way they did it and the way they branded the bag, it says on the front here, MYPZ knit kit. And then this was folded over, and this sticker said, I can't wait for you to open me. When I opened it, there were 6 skeins of yarn in here, and I'm going to share those with you. So I got an all white mohair. Hopefully you guys can see that. And then I got another mohair. There were 4 skeins of that yarn. And then I got another one that had some patches of color in there. So the pattern called for you to hold these 2 yarns together as you knitted. And I think there's an option to get it with the needles. I didn't get the one with the needles. So prior to starting this sweater, maybe like 2 weeks prior, like very soon prior, I learned the knit stitch and the purl stitch. So those are 2 things apparently you need to know, 2 techniques, 2 stitches you need to know if you want to get into knitting. And this sweater taught me new techniques. I learned to cast off, and I learned to seam as well. So prior to this, I also learned how to cast on. So in making this sweater, I learned new techniques. I applied the techniques I learned like 2 weeks prior. This sweater is knit in the flat, and then it's seamed together. I think it was a very simple sweater to put together once you get the hang of everything. And it was a great learning experience for me for a first sweater. Now I'll say I had to start the first panel at least a dozen times, because all of the YouTube videos I watched when I cast on and everything else, it was on a circular needle and I was doing it in the round. So of course when I started the front panel in the round, and I was like, no, something is wrong here. So I had to frog it, and then I was missing some stitches, like still getting the hang of knitting, purling, putting things together. So once I got the first panel down, the second panel was very easy. I got one sleeve, like the first sleeve I did, I got it on the first try, interestingly. The second one I had to frog. Is it called frogging when you're knitting as well? I know frogging is for when you're crocheting. But the second sleeve I had to frog and then started a second time. Of course I had to try it on so that you guys could see the fit. Just as the name says, it's a chunky pullover sweater. You pull it on over your head. It is oversized. You start by knitting at the cuffs and the waistline on a 9mm needle, and then you increase both in needle size and the amount of stitches so that you can create the oversized look and the bigger stitches that you are seeing. I really like how cozy it is. It's so comfortable, and I like the way that there's pops of color. I know that the color is a bit more sedate than you're usually used to see me wearing for the things that I sew, because I'm always in like a bright pink, a bright purple, etc. But while the colors are sedate, the pops of color are neon. So I think that kind of lends to my personality. Would I recommend this kit to somebody who is learning? I absolutely will say yes, because if I could create this only knowing how to cast on the knit stitch and the purl stitch, then you definitely can learn it as well. The great thing about the pattern is that it references some YouTube videos that you can look at. The pattern comes with the kit, by the way, so you can like download it and print it, or I left it on my iPad and I just scrolled through it as I needed to. So even if the brand doesn't have a YouTube video, it gives you some hints as to like what keywords to search in YouTube so that you can find a video to help you figure it out. I think the one thing that I didn't like about the sweater is that the mohair sheds a lot. So there is mohair everywhere. I have to like vacuum up clumps of mohair. My couch was just like covered in mohair. I haven't blocked the sweaters yet, and I did Google it, and it said that blocking will help the fibers to settle. So I'm hoping that'll work, because otherwise it might be a little tough to wear out. I mean, I'm still gonna wear it because I made it, but it would be like tough to wear when you have a significant other who only wears black. Thanks for watching my very first finished object video, and stay tuned. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can see whatever it is I make next. I don't know if it's going to be a sewn garment or a knitted garment, but if you hit the subscribe, you'll be in the know. Bye!